today I will be sharing the unconventional lessons that I learned practicing hot yoga for a year. So a little bit about my background. I started off this yoga journey as a complete newbie. I had gone to a handful of random classes, but my biggest experience with yoga was actually practicing Yoga with Adriene on YouTube. I love that woman. In the beginning of 2023, I found a Groupon for a local hot yoga studio that offered 30 days of unlimited yoga for $31. And so I signed up and I attended a few classes and I realized that I really love this form of movement. So I ended up buying a year-long membership. That Groupon gripped me to the gods, and so I ended up paying $775 with tax for a year-long unlimited membership. And with that year-long membership, I attended 89 classes, bringing down my average cost per class to be around $8.72. And on average, a singular hot yoga class in my city costs around $21. By going often, I got my money's worth, for sure. The cost of my membership was probably the strongest motivating factor, at least at first, for me to keep practicing consistently. Because if there's one thing about me, it's that I want to make the most out of my investments. On one of the very first classes that I attended, my instructor led us through some movements called wind relieving poses, and that's when you're on the floor with your knees into your chest. And she told us that these positions were structured to help target the abdominal muscles and organs, give them a gentle massage, target the ascending and descending colon, and also help with digestion. And she also let us know that in these positions, it's very common to want to fart as you're in them because you're targeting the stomach area. And she even encouraged us to pass gas and to fart together. And I thought about it, but I just couldn't get there, you know? I wish that I was cool enough to fart in front of other people in yoga class willingly. But I never got to that point. However, I do appreciate the amount of acceptance and just nonchalance and understanding that comes with yoga and our body's natural functions, and paying more attention to the health aspects of the different positions that we put ourselves in versus just looking cool. And the whole year that I was at the hot yoga studio, I think I only heard one person fart the entire time, which is a pretty low average if you ask me. Like I said, it was met with nonchalance. It's no big deal. Next, we're going to talk about stank hands. I am someone who loves to cook, and I cook a lot with garlic and onions. And one thing that I had to learn the hard way is that if you cook with garlic and onions before class, you will be diffusing those oils from the palms of your hands throughout the entire session. I felt so bad. I felt embarrassed. I didn't like that I was smelling that way. I don't want to smell like food. Like, I love the smell of garlic and onion, but not as a perfume. So when I noticed that I was smelling this way, I began to rub my hands on a paper towel to try and get rid of the smell. And I noticed that the paper towel had this like yellow tinge to it from the oils from my hands, even though I had washed them hard prior to class. Hot yoga has this incredible way of opening up all your pores, your face, your hands, your feet, your armpits. So whether you want it to or not, you're going to be sweating and you're going to be releasing some fumes. And so it might be helpful to be a little bit more mindful about what you're consuming, because what you put into your body eventually has to leak out. If you do happen to cook with garlic and onions before class, whether it be a day before or right before class, I do have a couple remedies that I noticed helped me. And so one is rubbing your hands on stainless steel, whether this be stainless steel appliances, if you have a stainless steel sink, and stainless steel utensils. If you rub your fingers on it, the molecules released from the garlic and onions, the sulfur compounds, will bind to the metal on the steel rather than sticking to your skin. So it almost wipes away that stank. Number 2, lemon juice and vinegar, anything with high acidity, also tomato juice even, helps neutralize the odor of garlic and onions, and so that can be helpful. And number 3 would just be mindful about what you're consuming. When we eat pungent smelling foods, our bodies break them down and we end up releasing a lot of those smells through our sweat. And so just pay attention to what makes you stink. You don't have to, obviously you do you. I love garlic and onions. It didn't stop me from eating them, but I was just a little bit more conscious about pairing my classes with my meals. And I'm sure my neighbors next to me really appreciated that. I live in New Mexico, and going to hot yoga in the summertime was hell. It's not something that I would recommend to anyone because the temperature inside the studio was pretty much the same temperature when I walked out. And so I was constantly spending hours in this state of super hot, sweaty heat. Like I was just constantly hot and bothered all the time. And I didn't like that. Eventually, I even started getting migraines, and so my attendance in the summer definitely was a lot lower than the other months. I definitely think that there was a beautiful transformation that took place over the last year. Throughout my time in the yoga studio, I never felt like I stopped learning about yoga, and I never stopped learning about myself and my own body and my own needs. And every single time I stepped on the mat, it was a different experience, which I really appreciated. Some days I was really emotional, so I would be crying throughout class. Some days I felt really strong and confident, and I just tried new things. It was just a lot of exploration, and I really appreciated being able to get to know myself in this practice in this way. I can say that I'm definitely more flexible after this year of hot yoga. When I first started, I could barely touch the tops of my toes when sitting down, and now I can grasp the arches of my feet, which is really cool. My doctor even said that my scoliosis has improved because the muscles around my spine aren't so tight, so it's not pulling my body in different directions. My balance is also improved, and I just feel more connected to my body in general, which I think is such a blessing. I'm also stronger. My core is stronger and my arms are stronger. I don't think that I can do a push-up still, but I can definitely do a vinyasa, which I think is super sick. So all in all, I highly recommend exploring a new practice. Maybe it's hot yoga, maybe it's regular yoga, maybe it's qigong, something that's inviting you to move your body and get to know yourself better. So if you needed a sign to try something different, I highly recommend it. Go out there, move your body, connect with yourself. It'll be a great experience. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you later. Bye!